Hello class, this is Mr. Ferris, and in this fourth video for project number 4, I'm going to go over some more complex compositing techniques and selection techniques. Here we'll be working with some of the mask tools, the lasso tools, quick selection tool, so on and so forth. To get us started, we're going to start on page 226 where you are working with the lightning layer, which I already have live here. To work, make sure you do have this selected, and you can see I have all my other layers hidden, again by just toggling the eye icon back and forth, or you can come in here and option click on the lightning layer to hide everything else. Oops, excuse me. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the lasso tool. Now your lasso tool will be located on your third panel down if your screen looks like mine. You can also get to it by clicking the shortcut L. From here, I'm going to draw a pretty rough outline of this lightning layer here, just so we can see how it works. You can see you can let that go, and it completes the selection. From here, once we have this these lines, your book refers to these as marching ants. It's really just a selection outline. From here, you can go to select, modify, excuse me, and feather, and you can adjust your selection. Now, when you feather something, you're not going to just be cropping it in or cropping it out. You're actually going to be creating a softer transition between the selection and the object within the selection. So here we're going to change this as 35 pixels, and we're going to click OK. Now from here you can click the quick mask selection, which for your version of Photoshop will be this little icon right here underneath the color panel. So you can see edit in quick mask mode. You can also click this by hitting Q on your keyboard. So here everything that's red is the mask, and everything that is in full color is what's left over. And here you can see how you have this nice feathered gradient type effect that you can work with. This also is how a lot of people blend images into each other and work with them in those different kind of manners. Now, after you've taken a look at this, just detoggle your quick mask tool. You'll have your marching ants right back over here, and now you're going to go select inverse. Now, before I had everything in the lightning selected. Now I've got everything outside of it. Now at this point what I can do is I can just hit the delete or backspace key, and it's telling me it's not directly editable because it's still a smart object. If you get this error, this one right here, could not complete your request because the smart object is not directly editable, it's okay. Just double click on your lightning layer and you can see this means it's still a smart object. If that happens to you, just go back to your PSD file, choose your brush tool, and just click, and it'll say the smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. Edit contents will no longer be available. Rasterize a smart object. Just click OK. And now you should be able to come in here, and with everything still selected as it is before, just click that delete key. And here you are. You're left with your lightning. Alright, now for another set of selection tools, I'm going to work with the skyline. Now, I've already shown you in a previous video how to come in here and use the magic wand tool to select this, but you can see, as you can see here with the spire and with some of these other parts, it's not exactly perfect. So another great way to work with this is to use the color range tool. Now, in your book, it'll actually take you through these same steps of using the magic wand tool, and you can see everything set this way. Alright, so after you've worked with this, you can say select, deselect, just so it'll go back. You can also hit Command D to always deselect your images within within Photoshop. Now, on page 230, you're going to go to select color range. What's unique about this is you can see I actually have my quick mask selection on, which you can change to white matte. So come down here and make sure the white matte's selected. And you can actually see what I'm doing here is I'm actually selecting different colors that exist within my file. This gives me a much more exact version of the Magic Wand tool. Again, it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. So for example, if I come down here and were to click a gray, you can see how as I'm moving my selection across the different photos, different parts are lighting up, and you can see how that works over here. So for us, of course, we're going to select the blue and come in here, and just while holding your shift key, you'll see you get a little plus icon. You can just use this to help add colors to your selection. So I'm going to come in here and make sure I've gotten every type of imaginable blue until there's none left. And then you're also going to set your fuzziness value to 80. This gives you, the higher your fuzziness value, the less exact your selection will be, but it'll help you cover more space in particularly complex images. Alright, so after you've made the selection, you can just click OK. And actually, to get a better idea of what this looks like, let's check the invert box over here. And now you can see what the selection looks like with this white part, with this sky kind of iterated out of it. Alright, so once you're satisfied with how this looks, and I'm going to stop here, just click OK, and you'll see it makes your selection. Now, you'll find a couple spots down here that need to be adjusted. A quick way of getting rid of this is using the lasso tool and using the subtract from selection again. Just come in here and, we'll actually want to use the add to selection part. Sorry about that. And you'll want to use that to come in here and just take off these little parts of the images that you do not want to select. And so I'm just coming here being real rough, and you can see how it's collecting those in there for me. Alright, and once you're happy with everything, and again it's selected all your different pieces, parts, you can come in here and just use the Add Layer Mask button. Now, Add Layer Mask is going to be right here by the little FX, and we'll show you what this does. So once I click that, you can see it actually takes out my sky. Now, the unique part about using a layer mask is that you see this little icon right here. This means that I can actually go back and edit this. So, for example, if I had my brush tool and I came back here and wanted to add to the mask by adding black, you can see I'm actually pulling out parts of it that way. Now I'm going to undo what I just did there, and this time I'm going to change my brush tool to white by clicking the X key. And you can see if I come back in here, I can start to add this blue back in. So the benefit of using layer mask is, again, it's completely non-destructive. You don't have to worry about deleting anything, and it makes working with everything very simple. All right, and last but not least, I'm going to show you how to make a quick selection using the quick selection tool. It's very similar to Magic Wand, but it's also really powerful. So turn on your background layer. In this case, it actually should be the bricks layer. If for some reason yours is still showing as background, just come in here again, click your brush tool, and this says could not use the brush tool because the target layer is hidden. Oops, sorry about that. We're going to make sure background selected, and we're going to rename this. Actually, we're going to call this bricks, and you can see the little lock comes off of it at that point as well. Now, to make a selection with the quick selection tool, just come over to your Magic Wand tool, again below the lasso, click and hold, and there it is. You can get the quick selection tool also by toggling W. Now, for some reason this doesn't show up, try right-clicking on your mouse instead of just hovering, and that should get you to this little sub panel as well. All right, so I want to make my brush size bigger, so right like this, and I'm actually going to come in here and just really drag around this broad area, and you can actually see how this is already expanded to meet the edge wherever it finds the highest point of contrast in my image. Great part about the image, the quick select tool is really great when you have a very clear defined color boundary between two parts of an image, and it's really easy to use. Again, what you can do is you can create a mask, and once you do that, you can just click Add Layer Mask, and we actually took out everything else. Well, by manipulating your mask instead of your image, it's really easy to get that back. So just make sure that your little outline brackets right here are around your image mask, and do Command I, or you can also go Image Adjustments, Invert. Now when you do that, you see you get your bricks clear, and back. And now this is actually a transparent background, so you can actually start to work with all the different layers and the stacking order. That's all for this video. In the final video for this project, I'm going to show you briefly how to work with your stacking order of your layers and how you can composite all of what we've done so far to create a really nice image.